So, in sales, um, I think it's good if you have a specific direction, a specific focus that you've been doing for a long time. Maybe you are working in a specific niche, or maybe you have a specific way of going about things. And what I want to talk about is how it's good temporarily to go into a completely new direction, temporarily, just to completely challenge your mindset, shake up your beliefs, get excited again. And this can completely change the way you operate and what you conceive as possible and not possible, just to try something completely new. Because everyone talks so much about focus nowadays, and it's true, it's important. But on the other hand, you don't want to fall into monotony. You want to keep things exciting. There's a discipline part to it, and I think there's also a part to it that's alignment, right? And just being excited about your work. And so, yeah, I'm not claiming to be an expert in this. I'm just speaking from my experience. I've always noticed that discipline is very important. But I notice, at least for me personally, I feel like when I'm doing this, I'm always forcing myself. And that's not what I want. I don't want to spend 50 years just forcing myself to do things that I don't really like. Like, I want to find work that's enjoyable. And I'm not necessarily going to just be passive or do things in a slow pace. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is do things that feel aligned and then go hard when the moment is right. But yeah, so for me, what I'm doing, because I've been cold calling contractors for a long time now, years, and temporarily also because it's holidays for them now, temporarily I'm going to cold call completely different niches and personal training in the car space, in the real estate space as well. And I'm gonna call these people, and the goal is to, one, keep practicing the cold calls, but two, just to try something completely new, to completely shake things up. Because that's what I notice when I'm calling personal trainers now. They're completely different operators, they're completely different people. And even though I'm not going to serve that niche, most likely because I already have my focus, the goal is to just keep practicing cold calls, sales, and persuasion, because those things transfer everywhere, right? The niche is just, yeah, you learn specific things that are specific to the offer, because you want to learn those things about their, how they operate, what they need in their business, and things like that. But the human persuasion part is transferable between all the niches. So that's the part you need to focus on. Don't learn everything about your offer, just focus on the persuasion parts. Because when you call these different niches, these people are going to have completely different personalities. So it's going to be a new experience. You're going to get objections that you didn't experience before, that are going to just be new and exciting. And it might inspire you to get the zest again for learning. That's at least what it's done for me. And also, I notice like the beliefs I have around things completely change. And I know this is going to transfer. I know this is going to transfer because I'm not speaking about their offer, I'm just speaking about human persuasion. And yeah, I noticed that's something that's exciting for me. When I call a personal trainer, they're much more like down to earth, like they enjoy entrepreneurship more. Whereas construction people are more serious and rational, and they tend to see more the inhibitions instead of the possibilities, because again, they're more like business people. And like the personal trainers, they're more like entrepreneurs. Maybe they don't have as much years of experience, or maybe don't have, maybe don't feel as much defeated yet or whatever, because they don't have the experience yet. But anyway, I do think it's going to transfer. Maybe not that part, but just learning to deal with different personalities and different objections. For me, I feel like at the very least it gets me my motivation back again. It gets me excited about sales and cold calls again. And that's going to transfer for sure. But then also just there's going to be objections that come up, and you learn to overcome them again. And sure, if you go back to your niche, maybe some people are going to react, probably people are going to react a little bit differently again, but now you'll have a different perspective. And also, because these personal trainers and the other niches are different, it also gives me sometimes the confidence to ask certain questions that I can't ask to the contractor guys, because they are maybe more restrictive or maybe more inhibited, maybe they're more guarded. But because I can talk about it with the other people, with the other niches who are more open about things, I think that's also going to transfer to the other niches, that, the contractors, that maybe I can speak with them about it then, maybe more about their revenue, maybe more about their personal life goals. All of these things that are very useful if you can talk about these things in a sales call, right? And so, yeah, I think that's a great thing to do, especially if your niche is a bit paused in the holidays. But if it's not, even if it's not, and you just feel like a little bit stale with how things are going, or with your current method, or your current niche, current operations, just momentarily, maybe try something new, just momentarily, just to get a new perspective on things. And if you notice that things really work out, then maybe you can take that in as like a different branch of your business. And if it doesn't, you can always go back to your main niche and just get like the new inspiration. That's what I would do. But like, especially if your niche is dead in the holidays, like, I think this is a good thing to do. Because with cold calls, it's important that you keep the momentum going, because otherwise, you dry up, and then you sit in your room and you do all things that are not productive. So you really want to keep the momentum going. You want to keep the calls going. You want to make sure that your energy is right before your strategy. Of course, you need to have your strategy as well, but with sales, and especially with cold calls, it's important to operate well. So that's very important. That's what I'm going to focus on also in these holidays, to make sure that my energy is back on point, that I'm just motivated, and that I have the energy I need to overcome objections, to overcome the things that I need to overcome to create good opportunities for myself and my business, and hopefully get some new clients, and at the very least prepare for the new season or whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And so again, that was the video. That the main lesson I want to share with you is if you feel stuck or stale in your current way of operations, yes, I get it. It's important to have focus, but maybe just temporarily try something new to completely shock and change your reality. And I think good things can happen from them. Yeah, you can get distracted. It's a possibility. Maybe you need to have a bit of discipline in that. But it can also have some very good effects. So, and especially if right now, if it's holiday, I think you have nothing to lose to try something new. So that's the message. Don't get shiny object syndrome, but just try something new to shock up your system and let that catalyst then help propel you forward in your main niche. That would be my message. I can talk about a lot more things, but I would defeat the point of the video. And we're already at 11 minutes now. So guys, check out the next video if you want. Hopefully I was able to share some good things, or at the very least you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers guys, bye bye.